For this sheet, we're going to do problem 4, 10, and 13. Well, I'm going to do those with you and you do the rest of them. This is just like the stuff that we learned last week, and we're going to be using the formulas for slope-intercept. So make sure that you look for that on the formula chart, which is y equals mx plus b. And we're also going to be using the slope formula for some of these problems. So problem number 4, they're asking for the equation of a line, and this is what it's going to end up looking like. So that means we need an m and a b. Did they give us anything for number 4 that we needed? The m, the slope. They're telling you that the slope is 4, so that's your m. So go ahead and put 4 for m. So now all we really need is the b. And we're going to use the formula y equals mx plus b to find b. So go ahead and write down y equals mx plus b. We're going to plug in some numbers. Because see, right here they gave us m, but they also gave us an x and a y. So I can plug in x and y and m to find the b. So what do I put in place of y? 9. Your 9 is your y. Equals, what's m? 4. And what's x? 1. And put that in parentheses because we're going to multiply. And then bring down the plus b. So what's the first thing that you do? You multiply the 4 times 1. And what does that give you? 4. Bring everything else down. Plus b equals 9. And solve for b. So you're going to take the 4 and you're going to subtract it from both sides. And that gives you b equals 5. Okay, so we have m equals 4, b equals 5. And I can write down the equation, which ends up being what? Four x plus 5. My slope is 4, my y-intercept is 5, and that is your answer. So that's how you're going to do problems 4, 5, and 6. Let's go to number 10. Number 10 is a graph, and they did not give us the m or the b, so we also have to find m and b for the graph. So which one is easiest to find? Is it the slope or the y-intercept? The y-intercept is easiest because you can just see it. Okay, so what is the y-intercept for this graph? Go ahead and draw a point. That is positive 1. So my b is a positive 1. How would I find the slope? Rise over run. Now, they also gave you 2 points. So if you don't know how to do rise over run, you can take those 2 points and plug them into the formula, which we're going to do in a little bit for the next problem. But you can do the slope formula for those 2 points and figure out the slope that way. No, we always go from left to right. So if from left to right the slope is going down, then my rise is going to be down and over. So go ahead and everybody draw your rise over run. This one's going down and to the right. Rise over run. How much is my rise? It's not 5. It's negative 5 because it's going down. Okay? If you're going down, if you're having to go down instead of going up, then that's a negative rise. So it's a negative 5 over how many? Let's see. Bunny hop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's negative 5 over 5, and when you divide those two, what does that give you? Negative 1. So my slope, my m is negative 1, my b is a positive 1. So what's the equation? negative 1x plus 1. Negative 1x plus 1. My slope is negative 1. My y-intercept is positive 1. That's your equation. Okay? One more, number 13. They gave you 2 points. We need to find m and b in order to write our equation y equals mx plus b. So now I cannot do rise over run because I don't have a graph. The only way you can do rise over run is if you graph these 2 points on a graph and figure out the rise over run. So we're going to have to use the slope formula. And the slope formula is y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1. And remember that both the top and the bottom have a minus. We need to label our points. This is your x and your y, your x and your y. This is 1 and this one's 2. And then you can use your fingers to point at the y's, because first we're doing the y's. So use your fingers to point at your y's, and you're doing the right side first, this one first, and then this one. So I'm going to put negative 5 minus 3. If this was a negative, if the 3 was negative, then I would have to put minus a negative 3, which turns it into a positive. Don't forget about that. Now point at the x's. You're going to do negative 3 minus 1. Negative 3 minus 1. No, if this was a negative 1, then yes, it would turn into a positive. All right, so what is negative 5 minus 3? Negative 8. Make sure you put it in the calculator. Negative 5 minus 3 is a negative 8. Divided by, what is negative 3 minus 1? Negative 4. And when you divide those two, positive 2. So my m is a positive 2. How am I going to find my b? You're going to use the formula y equals mx plus b. And you're going to have to pick one of your points. So one of these two, pick one so that we can use it in our formula. And it doesn't matter which one you pick, but I would pick the easiest one. And right now, which one of those two looks easier? The positive ones, right? So this is the point that I'm going to pick, and this is the slope that I'm going to use. So in place of y, what are you going to use? 3, because from the point that I chose, I have to use the y, which is 3. Equals, what is my m? 2. What is my x? Positive 1. And then bring down plus b. And we're going to do the same thing we did for that other problem. We're going to multiply 2 times 1. That gives you 2. Bring everything else down. So plus b equals 3. And solve for b. So what do you do now? Subtract 2 from both sides. What does that give you? b equals 1. So now I have my m and I have my b. b is 1, m is 2. How do you write the equation? Y equals 2x plus 1. And that's how you're going to do the rest of those problems.